Fight fans all over the world, it's Daddy Pete with Slap Happy Gorilla Podcast. What? Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda officially going down. Hey, look, the first press conference is in the books. It's in the history books. Listen, it's going down July the 12th, Queens, New York, Louis Armstrong Stadium. And look, y'all know us with Edgar Berlanga, and man, I always mess this guy name up. Shiraz, I can't. Hamed, I can't say it. Look, y'all know who it is. It's Turkey Boy. That guy Turkey backing him. Yeah. Anyway, it's going down, and you know, I done got my rant out the way. Y'all know I had a little video where I was saying who cares about William Zepeda, Shakur Stevenson. Now listen, I'm a Shakur Stevenson fan, and this is my thing. I felt that Shakur Stevenson was chasing him around too much. Shakur is the champion. He not supposed to be chasing the man around.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And then, you know, Zepeda got the interim belt. He's supposed to be pressing the issue. He's supposed to be doing everything he can to fight for the actual title. But he was doing everything else except wanting to fight for the title. So to me, I felt like Shakur Stevenson should have moved on. But I understand he want to go ahead and fight his contemporary at that weight, and it's a good fight, you know. He's not a no-name guy, so you can't, you know, tell him that he's fighting a nobody. But at the same time, he's not a champion, but he, you know, he undefeated, whatever. Nah, this is my thing. He coming off for 2 questionable wins against Tevin Farmer. And this is my thing. Tevin Farmer gave him all he could tote. Now, no disrespect to Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer is getting a little long in the tooth in his career. Yes. So, but, you know, if you haven't been following boxing for at least the last, 10 years or so, you might not know a lot about who Tevin Farmer really is. Tevin Farmer is a good fighter. If you just look at his, box record or something, just look at his wins and losses, you'll be like, oh man, this guy ain't nobody. But that's not the truth. He was a world champion. He's an ex-world champion. Like I say, he been doing it for a while, so he getting a little long in the tooth now. And his career probably didn't pan out the way it could have. He lost some fights that were pretty close. You know what I'm saying? Some close call fights where, you know, he could have got the nod or not, but he just didn't get the nod. Then he had some injuries. He had a hand injury where he got shot in his hand, trying to protect the little girl from getting shot. So, yeah, he got shot in his hand, man. So that was a kind of a big drawback. You know, his career could have turned out a little different because he has some skills. Now, he is an elusive guy. He is the epitome of African-American slick boxer. You know, he has that style where he's pretty elusive, you know, make you miss, make you pay type of style. You know what I'm saying? Slippery guy, you know. But he gave Zepeda all he could tote. That first fight, people was calling robbery. And he dropped Zepeda in that fight. So, you know, I mean, and this is my thing. Shakur Stevenson is a lot younger, a lot fresher, and more elusive. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be sharper and everything, you know what I'm saying, than a Tevin Farmer. And so what Zepeda going to be able to do with Shakur Stevenson? Listen, Shakur Stevenson, look, I really don't think William Zepeda is even on his level. And that's why I believe William Zepeda, he know he ain't on his level. And I think that's why he ain't want to fight him. But I don't know. I think this can be a fight where Shakur Stevenson showcase his skills against William Zepeda. I think he will dominate the fight. Will he knock him out? I'm not sure. I don't know. But I know that he can be very dominant. He can beat him in dominant fashion. Not a win like what was against De Los Santos. No. De Los Santos, that was a different fight. You seen a guy who, got some decent footwork and movement too. You know where Zepeda go be, because Zepeda go be in your face. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is my little crazy thought. I think starting out, Zepeda might fight a little bit different, but the kind of style he got, he ain't gonna be able to fight different for long. Because Shakur Stevenson keep telling him, like, hey, I know what you gonna do. I know you ain't gonna just, you don't know what game plan I'm coming with, but I know how you coming. And I think they gonna kind of switch up a little bit starting out. But with the style that Williams Zepeda has, you cannot switch out for long. He gonna be right there in his face before long. And Shakur Stevenson go tee off on him with angles, make him miss, make him pay. I think that Shakur Stevenson is going to dominate this fight, and it's going to be a showcase fight for him. And I think that's why. I think Shakur Stevenson sees something in him that he know he can exploit and make this look like a real good fight for him. And that's why he been wanted to fight him. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he overlooking him, and he shouldn't. Man, look, you cannot overlook the guy. Williams Zepeda can come and get you if you overlooking him. You know, he is a strong guy. You know what I'm saying? Throw a lot of punches and, aggressive. So that kind of style, you can't play with him. You can't overlook that guy. That guy can overwhelm you easily or quickly, But the style of Shakur Stevenson, like I said, I don't think that he gonna have too much for Stevenson. Now, Stevenson did come off a Josh Padley fight. He got him out of there probably later than some people wanted him to, maybe due to his hands or whatever. But we don't know, how this thing gonna be with his hands. That's one of the questions. And Josh Padley was, replacing, a last-minute replacement for Schofield, who got sick over there, whatever. So, that didn't pan out. But either way, look, I'm looking forward to the fight. I know I went on my rant, like I said. I think it's going to be a decent enough fight. And I did this on it. Did y'all see the interview, like the ring interview with Mike Carpenter and Shakur Stevenson? It was a little awkward to me. It's like they tried to recreate, some history like that used to go on between Muhammad Ali and Howard Cosell. A lot of y'all probably too young. Like I'm even young. Hey, look, I'm about to be 48. But just watching. I'm a fan of the sport. I watch that old stuff, and just watch it. You know what I'm saying? Howard Cosell, and he was an anchor, and him and Muhammad Ali, he used to ask him some kind of questions, get under his skin, but at the same time just sports stuff, boxing stuff, and Muhammad Ali, him and Muhammad Ali would kind of like be throwing little shots at each other that kind of disrespectful, but it's kind of funny at the same time, just being funny with each other. And, it seemed like that's what Mike Carpenter and Shakur Stevenson tried to do, but they didn't have the chemistry that Muhammad Ali and Howard Cosell had. So it's like the energy was off. It was a little awkward. But I don't know. Maybe they can work on something and make it where, they can get that kind of chemistry, but it just wasn't there. It wasn't popping for me. But Shakur Stevenson, just, giving his points on the fight. He didn't down talk Zepeda. He gave him his flowers to say, hey, look, he's a great fighter, but when I go in there, I'm going to be, you know what I'm saying? He ain't like, say, oh, he ain't nobody, I'm going to squash him. No. I think he took a page out of Floyd Mayweather's book. See, you cannot say that a fighter ain't nothing, and then when you beat him, oh, look who I beat. Because now, if you say he ain't nothing, you ain't beat nobody. But if you give him their flowers, let them know, hey, look, he's a great fighter. This is that. He even said you can't judge him by his last fight. by his fight with Tevin Farmer. That's what he said. His fights, because Tevin Farmer is a hard night out for anybody, and that's true. So I feel him, but yeah, I don't know about that. I think they was trying Tevin Farmer, especially that first fight, because they wanted to prepare Zepeda for Stevenson, you know, because he's a slick, like I said, he's a slick boxer. Also, he's a southpaw like Stevenson. So they was kind of trying to gauge the meter to see how they would do and how it, but he ain't passed the test. He won the fights, but he ain't, to me, he ain't passed the test, because like I say, Stevenson go come in there a lot sharper, more elusive, you know what I'm saying, and he's gonna be on point. You know what I'm talking about? He's a fresher fighter. You know, Farmer done been around the mill a few times, like I say, a little longer than 2. But either way, man, look, I'm looking forward to the fight. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. And let me know how y'all feel about the chemistry between Mike Coppinger and Shakur Stevenson. But this is going to be for the 135-pound WBC strap. Listen, y'all ready for it or not? Hey, this Daddy P. Like, hate, comment, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified every time it goes down. Daddy P.